Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and yet another feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding a fellow we picked up in the Guardians of Earth event, which you can see on the side is still going. This is a legendary. It's a nature legendary who has all his rune slots open. Okay, and I'm hoping those axes in his hand are made for killing, because I'd really like to get my hands on a really good nature one, and with the name Fightreer, I have high hopes for him. Anyway, let's find him a home. Let's see, I really don't want to put you with those guys. No, I don't. Let's find you somewhere a little bit more suitable for your talents. Yeah, why don't we try with Jack and Nico. Okay, did he just hip bump that guy? What was that? I mean, he was holding axes. Were you dancing? Oh, I'm concerned now. Anyway, so we have a guy, he's nature, so let's see what we got here. Alright, he's over here. Okay, just move over a little bit. Yeah, a lock would be great. Okay, this is Fightreer. We'll call him something else. Anyway, like Moss Man or something like. Okay, he can juggle. He's got lots of skills. He's nature again. He's a legendary. It looks like he is immune to poison, which is always a good thing. He's got 3 open rune slots, which is wonderful. He's got a lot more power than he has speed, but he's not too slow. He's certainly not as slow as some others, right? General Astus once said, "I would trust my Fightreer with my life." Every creature in his forest feels the same, because they all know Fightreer protects them ferociously. He carries 2 axes he stole from a logging company as a reminder that he's not to be messed with. And if you mess with him, he'll hip bump you. I'm interested to see what that is, frankly. I really am. Let's just take a look at the skills here. Okay, Woodchopper, low physical, Lumberman, low nature, and Treenado. Okay. Let's see. Treenado. Right. Deals very heavy nature damage, may poison target, may make target bleed. By hip bumping him? Okay, it is a single target. It is a single target. I guess it's a very hard hip bump. I mean, could he have swung the blades? Anyway, let's see the youngin' right now. Let's get him up to the teen years of level 4. Okay. He looks like he's ready for action. Yes, he is. And he's got an awesome cape. Or is it... Okay. Okay, let's just go for the skills. We'll start at level 7. Okay. Lumberjack habits. Deals moderate special damage. 50% chance to make target bleed. That's not a bad starter. It's not a bad starter. Alright. I have high hopes for him. I do. I have high hopes. Alright, let's continue to level 10. Okay, Clan William Cedar. Deals moderate nature damage. Heals by 20%. Okay. 2-round cooldown? Okay, well, you know, it's an early skill. Alright, let's keep going. Level 15. Rotten Axe. Deals moderate nature damage. 50% chance of poisoning target. Is that the same as the other one? Okay, the difference is it poisons instead of bleeding, and the new one is nature instead of special. Otherwise, they look similar. Alright, I'm going to swap that one in, right? Don't need that. Not keeping any of these, by the way. They're 50%. We're going to get better ones. Okay, dude, where are you? Okay, you weren't chopping down trees, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't funny. Level 20! Blood Tenorous? Tenterous. Okay. May poison all targets. May make all targets bleed. That's very interesting. It doesn't actually do damage. It just puts a whole bunch of dots on you. Well, I'm Obviously, I can take anything out because he's got... Well, that one's technically not... That one. Put that one in there. That's very interesting right there. You know, it doesn't do damage, but it puts 2 dots on, and over time, they may end up doing more damage than if it actually had damage and was only applying one of them. That's very interesting. All right, let's continue. 25, his next skill, and his final form. Okay, African Bow Ball deals moderate nature damage, heals by 25%. Okay, that's like that one, except it does more damage. It's got the same cooldown, same stamina cost, and it heals a little bit more. A little bit more. Well, obviously it's an upgrade, so we're going to take that. I'm guessing that's a type of wood. I don't know. I don't know special woods, right? Okay, there he is, his final form. With his, he still does that moss covering thing, doesn't he? I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing that's like a hair cape thing, but it envelops him, you know? All right, let's continue. Level 30, coming up. Deals heavy nature damage, may poison. Okay, and that's got no cooldown. That's not bad. Germ engineering. Okay, so let's think about that. Well, I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. Literally, that is a no-brainer right there. Does a lot more damage. Instead of 50% chance of poisoning, it poisons, and it still has no cooldown. So, yeah, absolutely. Alright, so let's continue to level 35. And his next skill, Body Chop. Deals very heavy nature damage. May poison target, may make target bleed. 1 round cooldown. Wow. Do I even need this one anymore? I am serious. Do I even need that one anymore? I don't see why. Because I have this one over here. I'm thinking we might get upgrades for that one. But I mean, what was this one now? Oh, that's that one. Right. I don't want to lose that one. Of course, the problem with this one is that these guys are already poisoned and bleeding. But it really comes down to this. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a cooldown increase, a very little one actually, but I mean it is so much better. I mean this one does the big damage, it poisons and bleeds. So yeah, that's a keeper. Kind of hoping something shows up for that first spot that makes me go, yeah, I want that. So I wouldn't see keeping both of those last two though. It's just this one, even though it's got the cooldown, they just do the same thing. This one does it so much better. There just doesn't seem to be a reason for the other one. Alright, let's get to level 40 and see what other awesome stuff he's got. Moss Drown. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Oh, that's not bad. For now, I think I'll put that in the first spot. Yeah, I think I'll put that in the first spot. I'm a little surprised that that one doesn't have an effect with it. But, you know, it's special damage. And even though it says moderate, it's really on the high end. It's really on the high end of moderate. That's assuming the gauge is right. But I think for him it probably is. Anyway, we'll get a chance to test that. Okay, level 45. Okay, we've seen that one already. We've seen that one. I'm kind of hoping for an update for this last one that maybe does more damage and heals a little bit more. Kind of hoping for that. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm kind of hoping for it. So, no, I don't need this one. Body Chop is far better. And there's no reason to have both of them. It's very redundant. Level 50. Okay, boys, Dent L. Target heals 40%, may apply damage boost to ally, may give precision to ally. Okay, wow, that's very interesting. So it'll heal the target by 40%. It'll give him a damage boost, which means a 50% damage boost, and it will give him precision. I guess I'm sticking in for that one. I mean, if it came down to it, you could use it on yourself. How much is the cooldown? That's a 0 cooldown. Okay. If nothing else, you could, if you ever run into a problem, you could just refresh this again. Especially if somebody resisted it the first time. All right, I'm gonna put this one in for this one. Very interesting. Let's continue. I wonder if we've seen everything. Level 55. Okay, we've seen that. We've seen that. All right. And level 60. Okay, germ engineering. I've seen that. He's got some interesting things here. And it makes me wonder... All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look what we got. We got moss drowned. Okay? All right. So in other words, maybe he just envelops somebody in his moss cape / hair. Okay, deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Okay, it's got a 3-round cooldown. It does on the high end of special damage, and special damage is good because it's not a matter of somebody being weak to it, right? So it goes a good damage. It's 3 rounds, and it's not a bad lead off, but it would really depend on what's going on with the rest of the team because some of these other skills might be a better idea. Is this one the best one to do as a lead off, or would this one be better to do as a lead off? Yeah, it's not going to put anybody to sleep. It's not going to stun anybody. But these 2 dots rolling for 4 turns can really do a lot of damage when you put up probably a lot more than this if they're very meaty, because the dots do damage based on the percentage of your health. So it could really be very good. It's kind of questionable which one you really want to lead with, but I'm guessing this is just a safe choice. All right, then we have this one. This is a really good skill. This is a really good skill. So this is Body Chop. Deals very heavy nature damage, may poison target, may make target bleed. And it's a 1-round cooldown. And that's a lot of damage. That is really a lot of damage, especially if it's someone susceptible to nature. Of course, the problem with that is that if they are nature themselves, it's going to do weak damage. But you still have poison and bleeding there, which is going to do damage as well. So it's not exactly useless against nature creatures as well, right? And of course, it's a 1-round cooldown. Then you have this, which is a very interesting skill. I don't think I've seen anybody who applies effects without actually physically attacking. I can't think of one off the top of my head. There might be, let alone somebody who applies 2 long-term dots. Poison and bleeding. Poison and bleeding are pretty good. Poison and bleeding are pretty good. And 4 turns of each for the entire enemy group on a 0 cooldown? So if somebody resists it the first time, hey, maybe you come back the next round and try to reapply again. Not a bad idea, if you're waiting for this to come back, right? So anyway, that's not bad at all. And then we have this one here, which I'm not going to try to pronounce again. This is a buff. This is a buff can use on an ally, and of course he probably could use on himself as well. The target is healed by 40%, and then it applies a damage boost, which gives him 50% more damage, and it also gives precision, so you have a better chance of hitting. This is pretty good. This is a pretty good buff right here. So, I mean, if one of your guys gets in trouble, or you're with somebody who is like a big damage dealer and you want him to get that big hit off, that's not too bad at all. The heal, it also acts as a heal too. 40% ain't bad, especially if you do have somebody who's meaty. Put something like that onto Oros and that could be good. You know what I mean? Anyway, he's very interesting, and I can't wait to start testing him out, frankly. Very interesting. I'm very interested in testing this one out. Very interested in seeing this one at work. And this is just a good, solid hit right there. This guy, I would say, you probably want... You see, here's the thing. Damage runes aren't going to help with this. Damage runes are not going to help with this at all because as I said, the poison and the bleeding dots, all dots really, are a percentage of their total health. So you're not going to really help very much for that. This is a buff. Now, obviously, the first 2 benefit very heavily from damage. But, given this, I don't know. This is a good question. Maybe you would actually want him to be a little bit meaty. I would say 2 damage runes for sure. 2 solid damage runes. What would you do for the other one, though? Given the fact that he can do a 40% heal, you might want to put a really good health on him. I mean, speed isn't such a bad idea, too. But, I mean, I guess it really depends upon your gameplay, doesn't it? They're really kind of low in terms of their stamina requirements. This is the big one here, 36. This one's just the 34. This one's only 30, and this one's only 30. So you probably wouldn't want stamina. So, I mean, I guess it depends upon his role in your gameplay. I might consider putting a big life on him, just so that he can stay alive and maybe use that on himself if he needs to, if the battle goes along, you know? It has more significance then. Or maybe a group one. Maybe give stuff to the group. But anyway, he's quite interesting, and I can't wait to start playing with him. And of course, he's very powerful. He's very powerful. He's not exactly slow. He's meaty too. He's got some decent health for level 60. So, and of course, he's got 3 wonderful slots, all open and ready to be used. Gotta love it. Anyway, this is Fightreer. I'll find a name for him. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games, because games are fun. See ya.